Hello and welcome to Lab 5 for G237 in the summer of 2022. Today for this lab, we are going to be creating a story map that shows the spread of COVID-19. And this is going to be particularly important for you because this is a major step in your final project. And so your final project is going to be creating a story map either alone or with a group about one environmental factor and versus one social or population factor, and which we'll talk about, in class and everything. But you should really pay pretty close attention on how to create a story map here, because this is going to be really essential for you. And so the first thing that we're going to do is, like usual, we are going to log into ArcGIS Online. So to get to ArcGIS Online, there's a link in the lab. And once you're on this page, on the very top right, there is this series of 9 dots that's kind of like in a square on the right-hand side, right next to your username. You are going to click that, and then you are going to look, and you're going to see right here in the 3rd row, there's a little button that says Story Maps. So you're going to click Story Maps, and then this page is going to open. And from there, what we're going to do is we are going to create a new story. So right here on the top right, there's a button that says plus new story. Click that, and then you're going to click Start from Scratch. And it'll take just a second for it to load. Okay, there you go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to title this story COVID-19 Outbreak. And you'll see that this page, this is what every story map begins looking like. And then the subtitle is going to be 2019 to 2021. And then, you'll have your name on it. And so after you've kind of titled it, given it a subtitle, right here on the right-hand side up towards the top, there's a little button that says add cover image or video. You are going to click that. And then you're going to see that it's going to ask you either for a link or for a picture. And so what you're going to do is you are going to go into the lab itself. And right here, there's a picture of coronavirus. You're just going to right click that, save it as, and then save it wherever you put your files. So for now, I'm just going to put it in my downloads. And once you have that saved, you will click browse your files and go find where that is, double click. And then once you have it, you'll see it should look like this. And then you're going to click the add button. And what that's going to do is that's going to make the coronavirus your header. So like always in these, you should totally feel free to be creative. So if there is a different header that you'd rather use or you have a different idea, totally feel free to do that. Now you're going to scroll down and you'll see right here, it says tell your story. So that's where you can kind of start typing things. And so on the lab itself, there is a little bit of text that you can copy and paste. And so we're just going to do that. So we're going to scroll down, we're going to copy and paste it. I would say also just feel free to, if you want to write up your own sample statement about coronavirus and COVID, please feel free to do that. And actually we can, it might say links to an external site. We can just delete that part. Okay. Then what we're going to do is you see right underneath that, there's this plus button. So we are going to click the plus button and it'll give you the option to add all these different forms of media as well as different types of maps. So what we are going to do is we are actually going to add a video. So scroll down into media and then select video. And then you'll see that it'll do upload a video, kind of like pictures before, as well as a link. So we're going to do a link and we're going to get a video from YouTube. So go back to your story map, go back to your lab, and then you'll see right here, there's a link to a YouTube video about the symptoms of coronavirus. We are going to copy that, and then we're going to paste it in here. And now what you're going to see is you'll see that you had, now when you scroll down, you have this text that you would put, and then you have this video. And then you're going to click on that plus button again. And then you are going to scroll down and you're going to select sidecar. Now for that, you can either do a docked panel, which means that all the text will just be on the left side or the right side of your map, or you can do a floating panel, which means it'll be a little text box that's kind of floating down. For our purposes, I'm going to choose a floating panel just because I kind of like the way it looks better, but feel free to do however you want, how to do that however you want. And then this is going to show up. And it kind of looks a little bit like a PowerPoint slide type thing. And so what we're going to do there is we're actually going to add a map here. So right up here on the top, in the middle, it says add media. You're going to click that button, and then you're going to go down to add map. Now from add map, what you can see is all of your my maps kind of by default. We are going to go to Living Atlas. And then from Living Atlas, we are going to search. So make sure you have Living Atlas selected. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click a category, and the category is going to be people. So what that is that's filtering for people in this. And then in the search bar, we're going to search COVID-19 outbreak. And give it just a moment. We don't need it in the United States specifically, just in the world. Okay, there we go. So make sure that you don't have any region selected and it's just the world. And then this map is going to come up that says COVID-19 trends in each country. So we're going to click on that, and then this map is going to show up. And what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that way this map is symbolizing COVID-19 active case rates per 100,000 people. So right here on the left-hand side where it says all these different features like active cases, total cases, etc., we're going to select this. And so what that's doing is that's showing us this specific variable of active case rates. And then what we're going to do is we are going to kind of zoom in to Southeast Asia. So kind of go over here and make it so that way it looks roughly like this. So that way it's kind of got Southeast Asia, China, Thailand, Vietnam, etc., kind of at the center. And then you're going to click on the bottom right-hand side, place map. And now what you'll see is that slide has this map in it. And you'll see that there's this empty text right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste in from the lab, go down here a bit, this text right here for number 5, and we are just going to copy that in. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we are actually going to add another map. So on the bottom right-hand side of your sidecar right here, there's the plus button. You're just going to click plus, and that's going to add a new slide. So like I was saying before, this kind of works like a PowerPoint in some ways. So then you're going to add map, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go to the Living Atlas. We're going to make sure it's searching the whole world. We are going to filter for people in the categories bar, and then we're going to search COVID-19 outbreak. And now we're going to go back to the same map, and we're going to make sure to reactivate active case rates per 100,000 people like we did before. And then now what we're going to do is we're just going to leave it so that way this is the whole world. So then what you're going to do, showing the whole world, is you're going to place the map. And then in the next text box, we're going to go back to the lab. We're going to copy and paste this one that starts at 4 months later. So you put that in there, same deal in the text box. And one thing that's kind of cool about these text boxes is you can actually change what side it's on or the size of it as well. So if you want it to be bigger, you can do that. If you want it to be on the right side, you can do that. For our purposes, I am going to actually just leave it where it goes by default, just because it's easiest to read. And now what we're going to do is we are going to add one more slide, and we're going to do the same thing, add a map, go to the Living Atlas, make sure it's just the region, it's just the world, and then go to people, and then search COVID-19 outbreak and select the same map one more time. And now what we're going to do for that, we're going to select active case rate per 100,000 people, and we are going to zoom in on the United States, Canada, and Mexico, so North America. And then we are going to click place map, and now we have this third map. And so now this right here, this slide for this third map that you have, this is where you're going to answer the first question. So question 1 is what does the map show? So just describe what this area right here you're seeing of North America shows. And then what we're going to do is we are going to add one more slide. So we are going to, or actually we're done adding slides in the sidecar. So now scroll down a bit and you'll see it says continue story again. And so what we're going to do is we are going to actually add another slide. So we're going to click embed. So click that plus button right there to the left of continue your story, and then click embed. And then what we're going to do is we are going to embed a dashboard from Johns Hopkins University showing COVID-19. And so that's going to be right here in the lab itself, that link. So you're going to copy and paste that link under step 3. Then you're going to put it in here, and then you're going to click add. And now what you're going to see is the Johns Hopkins dashboard is showing up right here in the middle. We can actually change the size if you kind of hover over it. So we're going to make it large. And then for the second question, what you're going to do is using this map right here underneath that, you are going to, sorry, give it just a second. You are going to add some text, and then you are going to do question 2, which is using the Johns Hopkins map, where do you see the most clustering of data? And is this surprising to you? So that's going to be the second question that you're going to answer. And now this is the end of the story map. And so up here on the right-hand side, there's this button that says publish. So we're going to click publish, and then you'll see in the drop down, there's these different options. You're going to share it with your organization or everyone. It doesn't really matter which ones you do, but just make sure one of these is selected so that way I can see the story map that you've created. And then you're going to click publish. And it'll take a second to publish your story. And then what you're going to do, it'll show you, is you're going to kind of be able to scroll through what you just created. So then when you're scrolling through, you can see how the map is changing as you kind of move. And you could see the Johns Hopkins map, and then you can see the question underneath here. It's kind of like answering what the Johns Hopkins map is showing. So that's going to be the 5th lab. And then from there, what you're going to submit is you are going to have those questions in the story map itself, and then just submit a link to your story map. And so that link can either be just like from this page that shows up after you publish it, this long link right here, or if we want to go back to the story map a little bit, there is another way to share a link when you publish, which is right here. You can kind of go through and see that. But yeah, so that's how you're going to do it. So just kind of share that published story map that you have. It'll be a fairly long link. And then from there, I will be able to see it and grade it and everything. And this is going to be basically the way that you make the story map for your final project. So like always, if you have any questions, please let me know. I am happy to help. Thank you.